Why does a 10% price cut make some products sell like hotcakes, and others barely budge? PED measures how responsive quantity demanded is when price changes. Let's look at an example. So let's assume that the price of a bar of chocolate rises by 5%, and the quantity demanded falls by 8%. PED equals -8% divided by +5%. This gives us an answer of -1.6. Given that 1.6 is greater than 1, we know that demand is elastic. With PED, it is important to remember the basics that help us to analyze and interpret the meaning of the figures. So, if the value is greater than 1, we are dealing with an elastic product. If the value comes out as less than 1, i.e., it starts with a 0, then it is said to be inelastic. Finally, if the value is exactly 1, we have a unitary elastic product. This means that if price goes up by 10%, then quantity demanded will fall by the same amount. For any instance of PED, it is useful to remember the revenue rule. For elastic goods, lowering their selling price will bring about a rise in total revenue. For a good with inelastic demand, then an increase in revenue can be achieved through raising the selling price as consumers are less sensitive to price changes. Okay, so what factors affect PED? Think spent. Substitutes, the more there are, the more elastic the value. Next we have the proportion of income that a consumer spends on a good or service, bigger equals more elastic. Moving on to the next factor, which is whether the item is a necessity for a consumer or a luxury item they could do without, necessities equals inelastic. Lastly, we need to consider the concept of time. The more time a consumer has to make a decision, the more elastic the value is likely to be. As we start to bring this topic to a close, let's consider some real-world application. Take your luxury headphones for example. They are often elastic, with lots of substitutes on the market. Okay, but what about things like petrol? Well, these are usually inelastic regardless of price. You still need them to fuel the car and will pay more, but only up to a certain level. If prices keep rising, you might look for cheaper alternatives like the bus. So let's close out the theory with one quick practice question. If the price of a new laptop falls by 10%, demand for the device increases by 12%. Using what we have learnt, we divide the percentage change in quantity demanded by the percentage change in price. This gives us a value of -1.2. This is an elastic good, it has a value greater than 1. So, we know it has plenty of substitutes in the market. We also know that prices can be lowered to bring about a rise in demand and an increase in sales revenue. Okay, so let's wrap things up with a quick exam flash. Start with the definition of PED. Do the calculations neatly, units and sign. Classify and link to total revenue. Context. Apply to the business in the case. Finally, evaluate. PED depends on data quality, time frame, and substitutes. Right, that's PED sorted. Next step, practice. More materials such as PowerPoints and workbooks can be found at teachingbusiness.org.uk.